Welcome to another episode of the AAU Overtime Podcast. Jordan DeLuciano here as always, and joining me now representing Niagara University in Division I of AAU, goaltender Josh Lacelle. Josh, thanks for joining the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for putting me on here today. I appreciate the invite.
No problem, man. Yeah, you're having a fantastic season along with the Niagara group in general. We'll get into your current season with Niagara because there's a lot to talk about there. You guys are off to a very good start, had a very good run last year. But some big news for you specifically. Last week, you got the nod to dress for the Niagara University NCAA Division I team. So first off, how did that opportunity arise for you? Was there an injury? Was there something for the goaltenders that led to your call-up?
Yeah, so it obviously wasn't the most ideal situation for them. They had their second string goalie, Olet, go down with an injury to his knee. And then, so I started to practice with them for about a week, and I was just going to their weekly practices. And then that weekend of games, Garrett Fisk ended up going down in the third period against RIT. Also to an injury to his knee. And at that point, they asked me to start coming to team workouts, team meetings, and their practices. So I was there from 8 a.m. to noon every single day, and I'm doing that currently even now. So okay. The schedule is still very packed, and I got a text from my coach saying, "Hey, did the NCAA team call you yet at all?" And I said, "No." I'm like, "What's it about?" And he says, "I'm going to let them explain that all to you." So I was like, okay, at this point, I'm getting pretty excited because I have an idea of what's going to happen. And I get into practice just the next day, and their coach comes up to me and he says, "Hey, I want to let you know this weekend you're going to be coming to dress against that
under 18 team, right?
States, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
the under 18 USA team. You guys wound up winning that game, correct?
Yeah, we won 3-2 in overtime, and it was an absolutely amazing game to watch in person. Watching that.
You had that front row seat, so it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Like watching all these like insanely high talented players play right in front of me, and just the speed at which they read the game and everything was just an incredible experience.
So you mentioned the speed of the game. You got a front row seat. Anything you said you were practicing with them for a while, not a while, but a decent amount of time before that first game. Anything else you've noticed having that front row seat to now the NCAA Division I caliber or player that really stuck out to you? You mentioned the speed, but anything else that stuck out, maybe preparation or just how practices work?
Yeah, well, I mean, practices are very structured. Like everything is done by the book and everything's done on time, or else there's skating involved or anything like that. So everyone's always on the clock. Everyone's always dialed in right from the start of practice. And it's kind of gets me in the headspace to do the exact same thing. So I've noticed even coming back to my games, my practices, that from the second that practice starts, I'm now like, I'm there, I'm locked in, because now I see all these other goalies at the NCAA practices, and I'm trying to learn what they're doing. And that's the biggest thing I've been able to pick up, is just picking up on their habits, what they do during practices, what they do during game days. It's helping me a lot to learn the game.
When you found out the news, who was the first person you reached out to let you know what was going on?
The first person I called, I don't even think I left the rink yet. I called my coach, because he's been in my back corner helping me out through this entire process, and I needed to help. I just had to call him because it was an exciting time, of course. And then, but right after that, I called both my parents.
That's very gigantic announcement. Is that something that you maybe any ever anticipated happening? You're going to Niagara, playing for AAU D1. You see there's another team on campus in the NCAA. Did you ever dream of this ever happening?
My hockey experience is a lot different than many others, so this was never something I'd be able to even dream of. But of course, it is still like it's a dream come true just having this experience, because it's something I'd never thought I'd get the chance to do. And it's been the most amazing past 3 weeks being able to practice with them day in and day out.
Any advice to any of the guys on the team, any of the goaltenders you get to talk with, learn about their preparation, learn about how they go about things? Any advice you got maybe from the coaching staff from the D1 NCAA team?
Well, I got at the game, I got to room with Fisk, and we were able to talk a lot throughout of it. And, I got to see all of his game preparation and everything about that. And we sat there talking for like about an hour about just goaltending and about angles, the speed of the game, how to read. And it's just helped so much, because he has a lot more experience than I do. So hearing all of the stories and what he does, I'm trying to translate it into my game where it fits. And I've noticed just the improvements of like all my edge work, my skating, everything has gone up so many levels, all because of their program at Niagara.
And now going forward, did you were talking about earlier? Are you still practicing with the team, or are you back with the AAU group?
So I'm practicing with them this week. I think this will be my final week, as Ouellette seems like he's coming back. But I mean, of course, I'm just taking it day by day and enjoying the experience as it's coming at me.
What was that first shot on goal like in practice that you faced?
The first shot on goal, that was
go in?
No, it didn't. I actually did manage to make the save, which was great. It's the speed at which the puck comes at you and just how fast it comes off their stick is on another level. And it almost makes, when I go back to my own practices, everything's kind of coming in slow motion almost. So it's a different experience, that is for sure.
Well, it feels like even before this experience for you in the NCAA level, the pucks have been coming in slow motion to you regardless. I mean, your numbers this year are ridiculous. You have 6 shutouts, a 1.42 goals against, and a 9.47 save percentage. So there's like video game numbers. I think it might be safe to say right now you are leading the way for goaltenders in D1 AAU. What got you your start in not just hockey, but got you in the pads that led you to Niagara? When did you start playing hockey? What got you, like I said, into the pads?
Well, I started playing hockey ever since I think I was about 5 when I started, but I mainly played forward and defense, but I was more committed to soccer. But growing up, when I was around 16, I decided I was done with soccer and I wanted to play goalie. I don't know what it was.
16, you started playing goalie? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I just fell in love with it. So I started playing pickup hockey wherever I could, like 6-7 days a week. I'd have work at 6 a.m. the next morning, and I'd be out at a pickup skate at 11 p.m., an hour away from my house, doing anything I possibly could just to get ice time. And from then I joined the Richmond Royals in the CCHL2. And then I went through that full season, and it was a great experience. It just made me fall in love with the sport more and just being a goalie in general. So I wanted to keep going. And then my final year of juniors got canceled because of COVID, unfortunately. So I thought that was going to be my ending path. But then I discovered AAU hockey and AAU hockey. And I said, I want to give it a shot. So I sent out an email to a couple schools, and Niagara, I think I only sent the email out about 3 weeks before school was supposed to start. So it was a very last ditch effort to get here. And
wow. Your whole thing, like not just the 3 weeks before school, everything you're saying seems like so improbable the whole way. You didn't pick up the goalie pads till you were 16. Did you have any training, like any personal coach or any classes that you on ice classes that you learned how to be a goalie from when you were 16 to now? Or did you pick it up on your own?
I, for the most part, picked it up on my own. I mainly put a GoPro behind my net, and I would just go back after every skate, watch what I did wrong, see what I could improve on. Other than that, online has so many goalie coaching videos and everything to learn from. So I was watching hours of that content every single day, just trying to implement it into my game, see what works and what doesn't. And I'm still doing that to this day, just to try and improve a little bit every single day.
That's amazing that, you picked up a sport, and specifically a sport that, one, is very difficult to begin with, and two, a position that's arguably one of the most difficult positions in all of sports. You got like the quarterback in football, the pitcher in baseball, the goaltender in hockey, and now you've run with it. Did you take anything you learned? Was there anything from soccer that you learned all these years that you applied to being a goalie?
I was a goalie in soccer as well. So, okay. And you have to deal with a bit of a bigger net. So it's a lot of angles. And with goalie and hockey, I've started to learn, especially, it's a lot of kind of the same things transitioning back and forth. So once I started to realize that, I started to put both sports together, and it really helped me. And that's when I noticed a pretty big jump in my skill level for it.
You said you were you played forward and defense growing up on ice, correct?
Yes, I did.
And then you wound up transitioning to soccer. Then 16, you played goalie. Was getting back on the ice at 16, not just going back to forward or defense, was that a tough transition to now learn not only just to pick up ice skating again or get more familiar with ice skating and playing hockey, but now learning how to skate as a goaltender? Because playing defense and forward skating is much different than the goaltender skating aspect.
Yes, it is. Like I was playing, like I played just house league because I was still playing competitive just in soccer all the time. So I still wanted to play hockey. I still had that passion for it. But the biggest difference was definitely changing from player skates to goalie skates. I still remember, I think I went on the ice for the first time and I stepped on and I just went straight for about half of the ice because I wasn't able to turn.
It's like me when I first started rollerblading. I didn't know how to turn or stop. So just go straight and crash.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So how long was that adjustment period? When you first stepped on the ice, you just kept going straight. But how long, if you remember, or you could just try to take a guess back and go recollect, how long would that adjustment period take to get your edge work, get your stopping and starting inside the crease now?
It was a lot of work, and I'd say I'm still trying to learn it to this day to try and master it, because I still notice things and I'm like, I can improve here, I can improve here. But I'd say for the first 6 months until I joined like an actual hockey league, I guess you could say, it was definitely very difficult, especially in pickup skates, because it's not the exact same as in a game. So my edge work was a little bit everywhere. I noticed I was just gliding out at people and going everywhere and not getting square at all.
But this late start you had, it doesn't progress to where you are now, which is a very formidable goaltender at Niagara. Without you put those GoPros, you're very critical of your work. You're watching videos that are all over the internet. But this self-reflection, and this self-criticism, not really just bagging on yourself, but like learning from your own mistakes. You feel like that has been a main reason why you've been able to excel. It's just those little things and just not being too hard on yourself, but being realistic. Like, okay, I was gliding here instead of stopping, my edge work isn't great, and finding those little things to improve your game.
And that's exactly all it is. Like, it's just, you can't take things too hard on yourself. What's happened has happened. And that's kind of what you have to have as a goalie. If a goal goes in, you got to be able to just get back up and face the next shot, be ready for it again. Because you can't fix what already went through, but you can fix what you're about to do. And that's kind of the way I try to look at it.
And now, Josh, your Niagara team, top, I believe last time, I think the rankings came out today. And I think you guys are at 2, right?
Yes.
You guys are 2 now. Yep. Right behind Tampa. But it's not just you, your whole team in general. Is it just a system thing? You guys don't let up any goals. It feels like it's always 1 or 0. It's unbelievable. The run that Niagara's on right now. So is it the system? Is it something your the coaching staff preaches? What is leading to Niagara's like fantastic defensive structure so far?
It's our systems, for one, plays a very, very large part inside our team doing as well as
your systems and structure, yes. and probably the guys in front of you as well, that defensive group in front of you. Is it mainly guys from last year? Is it a good turnover, or do you got any fresh faces up on the defensive back end that are helping you out?
The back end is mostly guys that we've already had from past, and it's just everyone is doing everything that they need to, blocking shots, getting in lanes, taking away the cross crease passes, and all I have to focus on is just the shot. I don't have to pay attention to what's happening behind me because I know that I have a team that I can confidently trust to help defend the crease.
It's something that kind of goes unnoticed as a goaltender, is that ease of, like you just said, you don't have to worry about what's going on the right or the left or behind you, because you got a group in front of you that can handle it. It makes your life a lot easier. I just got to focus on where the puck is, and then my guys behind me will handle it. So good. It's kind of combination of both, pretty much what I'm gathering. Good system right now. You got a good group in front of you, but you have 2 blemishes on the record, and your 2 games against the Bonnies, one of the best teams in AAU. What are those games like? Unfortunately for you guys so far, not coming out on the winning end, but what are those games like, the intensity, the battle level when you link up with the Bonnies?
I mean, we definitely enjoy playing Bonnies every single time because it's always a battle, especially since we're going to play them at their rink coming up here soon. And the last time that we went there, they scored with 5 minutes left to win, just 1-0. So it definitely, that one stung a bit, and I'm excited to get back there and just put everything out there and hopefully come away with a win.
All close game. Yeah, the 2 losses all year is just the Bonnies, and it's all 1-goal games. And then everything else, like you look down in the schedule, it's unreal just seeing 1s and 0s on the other end for whoever you wind up playing against. But outside of Bonnies, anybody maybe outside of the UNYCHL, because you see a lot of that. You got Binghamton, you got a Cornell, Cortland, Buff, and anyone that you've linked up so far outside of the UNYCHL, they're like, oh, that was a good opponent, or like, oh, I want to link up with these guys again.
I mean, it has to be Tampa. When Tampa came down here, there was a lot of hype to play them, and it was an exciting game. That is for sure. It came down right to the end of it.
Yep, 2-1 game.
Yeah, it was a 2-1 game. I made one pretty decent save inside the 3rd period, and then I think we went down and scored in overtime that game to win it. So it was an amazing game to play, and I wish we could go to Tampa to play them at home, but it was a great experience to have them up here.
Hey, maybe you'll get them one more time. They owe you one now. You guys took the first one. Maybe you'll get it one more time at National. So we'll see what happens. That would have to probably be in the semifinals or the national championship in itself. But Josh Lacelle, goaltender for Niagara University, just got the call up to the NCAA D1 team and is leading the charge in all of AAU in terms of goaltenders. Josh, thank you for the time. Congratulations on the call up. Good luck the rest of the way, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you bringing me on here.
No problem, Josh. So once again, alongside of the goaltender for Niagara University's AAU D1 team, Josh Lacelle, my name is Jordan DeLuciano for the AAU Overtime Podcast. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and we'll talk to you all.